Hi, I'm George, the Office Manager here at Arcitecta. In today's video, I'll show you how to create a new asset in the Mediaflux desktop. Start by double-clicking to open Asset Finder. To create an asset, click on the Mediaflux collection that you want the new asset to be created in, and then go to Collection drop-down menu and select Create Asset. You can also right-click on the collection to open the same collection menu and select Create Asset. The window that opens has 4 tabs. In the Name tab, you can enter a name and file type. If you leave these blank, they will default to the name and file type of the content file that you add. You can enter an optional description of your asset. This is a good way to leave notes about the asset for later reference. The Collection checkbox will create a collection asset that can contain references to other assets. Collection assets are a great way to create groups of assets. How to use them is explained in a separate video. The license checkbox is used if you want the asset to be a license that can be applied to other assets. If you're creating a basic asset, you can leave this whole tab blank. The Geometry tab allows you to add spatial geometry to the asset. For example, you can provide a longitude and latitude for an image file showing a particular location. Mediaflux automatically extracts metadata such as file size, date modified and so on when assets are imported. The Metadata tab allows you to add additional metadata to your assets. You can drag metadata documents to this area from the Metadata Library application. Once you've added the metadata documents, fill out the metadata elements in the right-hand pane. Any mandatory elements are shown with bold text. If the collection you're creating an asset in has a metadata template assigned, the template metadata will automatically appear in the Metadata tab. For example, this collection, Web Articles, has been set up with a metadata template. So when you create an asset in this collection, the Metadata tab will automatically have the website article metadata set up. Please watch the Metadata Templates video for further information on this feature. What metadata you add to your asset will completely depend on the type of data that you are adding and the way that you plan to use that data. Keep in mind that you can continue to add to and update your assets metadata at any time after creating the asset. The final tab is the Content tab, where you drag a content file or archive onto this panel. Now you can click Create and your new asset will appear in the collection. You can right-click on the asset to open the Asset menu, which contains options including Modify. Now you can modify the content or metadata as required. All assets in Mediaflux are versioned, so any changes to the content or metadata are recorded. This is covered in more detail in our video on asset versions. When you're creating an asset, you can also drag multiple files into the Content tab. Select Single Archive as the packaging type to create a single asset with an archive containing all the files. Now drag in the desired files. Since there will be several content file names, by default the asset will not be named, so you may wish to add a name in the Name tab. To create multiple assets with the same metadata, select Create Assets from the Asset Collection menu. Now add the desired metadata. Drag the files into the Content tab. Select None as the packaging in order to create a separate asset for each content file. Each asset created will have the same name as its content file, and they will all have the metadata that you have added in addition to their file-specific metadata. This video has shown you how to create an asset from scratch. There are other ways to do this via bulk importing or drag and drop. To learn more about these, check out our videos.